Last year's Seder, the first in times of COVID, was an intense event. In normal years, we can usually count on someone else to run the Seder for us. The grandparents who host each year, the holiday-loving uncle, or the creative cousin. But last year, Jews all around the world, from all walks of life, who are so accustomed to celebrating Seder in the company of the extended family, we found ourselves in a Passover lockdown, forced to reinvent the Seder experience. Young parents scrambled for Haggadahs as they found themselves leading Seder for their own kids for the first time. Grandparents, so used to celebrating surrounded by grandchildren, found themselves telling the story of the Exodus to themselves. A year has passed, and it's yet another COVID Passover. As someone who comes from a home that has written Haggadahs that highlight how Jews have celebrated Seder differently over the generations, and how Jews have always adapted their Seders to their historical realities, I find myself asking, what did we learn from that very different night last year? And what memory will we carry from it into this year's Seder? You could almost say that last year there were the COVID Seder for children. There were those who insisted on togetherness, even in times of social distancing, reinventing Seder as a Zoom experience, declaring that the family connection on Seder night is stronger than anything, even if we are not around the same table. There were those who took advantage of the forced distance to create an intimate family evening, children and parents singing and reciting and celebrating together in their own way. Others enjoyed the year off from the burdens of the extended family and celebrated Passover with the insight that social distance sometimes brings a little air of freedom. And finally, there were those who discovered that precisely when there is the freedom to make Seder night into just another night, it's precisely then that the longing for the special moments of the Passover Haggadah awakens. And so, by choice or not, COVID Seder forced us to find within ourselves wells of creativity and to imagine Seder night a little differently. And for all of us, I think COVID Seder reminded that Seder night, it is so important to pay attention to those who are in need, financially, socially, emotionally, and to find ways in which we can open the door and invite them in, even when we are destined for social distance. Kol dichfin yetei ve'yifsach. Let everyone who is needy come and make Passover with us. But at the end of the day, I think last year's Seder sharpened the main message that the rabbis wanted to convey to every family on Seder night. That this is our story, the story of each and every family, ours to tell, ours to pass on to the next generation. And that we should tell the Passover story in a way that it will also become their story. As the Haggadah drills down for us, B'chol dor v'dor chayav adam lirot et atzmo ki'ilu hu yatsa miMitzrayim. In every generation, a person must see themselves as if they themselves came out of Egypt. A successful Seder night is a night in which the story of our people, our extended family, becomes our personal story. A family night in which the previous generation passes on a story to the next generation until the next generation says, I too came out of Egypt. In this sense, COVID Seder highlighted something essential about our Jewishness. That while we often rely on someone else for our Jewish connection, our parents, our rabbis, our schools and shuls and community, on Seder night, Judaism is ours. On Seder night, every nuclear family are the masters of the Jewish story, each and every one around their own table. It's a story that is born in our kitchens and makes its way onto the family table, that's born out of family memories and games, and from there into the heart of the participants. And if COVID Seder last year was a difficult night in many ways, it also gave us a special gift. The reminder that the story of the Exodus is first and foremost a family story. A story that each family tells according to its own character and its own values. A story in which each and every one of us takes ownership of our story and passes it on in our image to the next generation. Chag Sameach.